That Dubois guy, though, holy shit, man! The way he took out Anthony Joshua.
No.
Yeah, Jake wants to fight Anthony Joshua now.
I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua's.
So he wants to fight Anthony Joshua in 2026.
And the haters online are like, yeah, do it.
Well, like,
yeah,
what about
please make that
now?
happen. Yeah.
They're like, what about fight
Right
him
now.
now? He's like, no, I want to wait till 2026. Like, okay.
To put on weight.
Put all the steroids, every steroid
Whatever.
they have.
So I would want,
Snake
here's the
venom,
thing, I would
scorpion.
want.
Jake Paul's recent suggestion that he could step into the ring with former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has drawn sharp criticism from UFC commentator and podcast host Joe Rogan, who labeled the idea as absurd. Rogan didn't stop there. He also reignited his ongoing feud with Paul by accusing the YouTuber-turned-boxer of using steroids. Despite the backlash, Jake Paul's promotional partner, Rogan and Bedarian, hinted that Paul's team is seriously entertaining the idea of high-profile bouts, including one against Joshua. According to Bedarian, Paul isn't simply chasing headlines. He's pushing boundaries and testing what's considered possible in the sport of boxing. Jake's feedback to me was, I want to do that fight versus Joshua. Bedarian revealed, not now, but I want to do that fight to become a world champion at cruiserweight. He wants to do that. Bedarian emphasized that Paul's goals go beyond financial gain. This isn't about money. Jake has made a lot of money since he was 18 years old, he said. It's about disruption, about testing expectations and redefining the sport. He also connected Paul's recent matchups to this broader ambition, citing the upcoming bout with Mike Tyson as a prime example.
Want to fight Anthony Joshua exclusive because I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua's. I know
he just got knocked out, right?
Yeah. He doesn't have a chin and he has no skill and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony.
Despite maintaining a friendly relationship with Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul remains eager to challenge the former two-time heavyweight champion. His bold call-out has sparked widespread debate among fans and analysts about the legitimacy and realism of such a matchup. Many boxing experts have been quick to point out the major obstacles Paul would face in the ring against Joshua, most notably the vast difference in size, power, and professional experience. While Paul has made steady progress since transitioning from YouTube fame to the boxing ring, he has yet to face an elite-level heavyweight, let alone someone with Joshua's pedigree. To some, Paul's challenge seems more like a publicity stunt than a serious sporting proposition. Nevertheless, his fearless and unconventional approach continues to keep him in the spotlight.
Stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends, all shit, but I want to fight you. I will beat Canelo. I will beat a lot of people. I will not beat David Benavidez.
As conversations continue around the potential showdown between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, the idea itself reflects a broader shift in boxing, one where unconventional matchups are increasingly grabbing attention and pushing the sport's traditional boundaries. Jake Paul's call-out of the former two-time heavyweight champion has sparked both intrigue and skepticism across the boxing community. Anthony Joshua has responded to Paul's challenge with a blend of humor and ambiguity. After Paul boldly claimed he could beat Joshua and criticized the British fighter's chin, Joshua shared a screenshot of a phone conversation with Paul on social media. He captioned the post with a simple 2026 and a shushing emoji, subtly teasing the possibility of a future fight without directly accepting the offer. While Joshua hasn't outright dismissed the idea, his reaction suggests he sees it more as playful banter than a legitimate threat. For many, the notion that Paul, whose boxing resume mostly includes MMA fighters and smaller opponents, could take on an elite heavyweight like Joshua remains far-fetched. Nonetheless, the idea of a potential 2026 clash has kept the conversation alive and injected fresh buzz into the boxing world. Joe Rogan, a vocal critic of Paul's foray into boxing, didn't hold back in a recent episode of the JRE Fight Companion. Rogan questioned both the legitimacy of Paul's challenge and the reasoning behind his proposed 2026 timeline. Jake wants to fight Anthony Joshua in 2026? Why not now? Rogan asked. He speculated that Paul may be intentionally delaying the fight to gain size and strength, possibly through steroids, further intensifying their ongoing feud. I think he's putting on all the steroids, Rogan added bluntly. Rogan's skepticism echoes a broader sentiment among boxing purists who view Paul's challenge as more of a media spectacle than a credible athletic endeavor. Many believe Paul is overreaching by calling out someone of Joshua's caliber, citing his lack of experience against top-tier heavyweight boxers and the significant size and skill gap between the two fighters. Despite the criticism, Paul remains steadfast in his belief that he can compete with boxing's elite. He hasn't directly addressed Rogan's accusations.
The first time I've spoken about the fight, to be honest, like, I look at it and I think Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua. I mean, look, for me, we'll do it for the banter. Do you know what I mean? Like, AJ would fight Jake Paul. He'd fight anyone, to be honest with you.
Eddie Hearn advised Jake Paul to take action now if he's serious about fighting Anthony Joshua, rather than waiting until 2026. He emphasized the vast disparity in experience and skill between the two fighters, clarifying it that Joshua would be a heavy favorite in any potential matchup. According to Hearn, Paul's chances against a seasoned and elite-level fighter like Joshua are extremely slim. He framed the idea of the bout as more of a publicity move than a legitimate sporting challenge, suggesting that the fight is driven more by promotion than by any real competitive merit.
You know, the only thing that was disappointing was he says 2026. I mean, that's like calling someone out. That's like me saying, you know, LA Olympics for the surfing 2028. I'll be there. Do you know what I mean? Do it in 2025 if you really want to do it. You're not going to get really much better at this.
While Jake Paul remains confident in his ability to take on Anthony Joshua, promoter Eddie Hearn views the proposed matchup as more amusing than realistic. He finds the notion of Paul stepping into the ring with a former heavyweight champion highly improbable. With a touch of humor, Hearn quipped that Paul would need the relevant insurance if the fight were ever to happen, underscoring the serious danger he believes Paul would face against someone of Joshua's caliber. Hearn's remarks reinforced his view that the potential bout is more of a spectacle than a legitimate competition. In his opinion, if Paul truly wants to fight Joshua, he'd better be prepared, not just physically but financially and medically as well.
Jake Paul wants to step up and fight Anthony Joshua. He'll need the relevant insurance.
This entire discussion was sparked after Jake Paul publicly called out Anthony Joshua, boldly claiming he could defeat the former heavyweight champion. The call-out came shortly after Paul secured a controversial victory over 58-year-old Mike Tyson, a fight that drew criticism due to the considerable age difference between the two, with many questioning the legitimacy and competitiveness of the bout.
Wow. I mean, I think what a mismatch that is.
Yeah, I agree.
Joshua would kill him. I mean,
Do you think he would just
Jake
hammer
Paul-
him? I think AJ's way too big, and he throws a good 1-2 down the pipe, and if he lands that right hand on fake Paul's chin, it's fucking game over, surely.
Jake Paul will never look at boxing again.
No, it'll be the end.
I mean, he'll never want to fight again. That'll be the end of even his YouTube career, in my opinion.
Mams Taylor, manager of YouTuber-turned-boxer KSI, has voiced strong criticism of the idea of Jake Paul stepping into the ring with heavyweight boxers like Anthony Joshua. Taylor questioned the motives behind Paul's promotional team, suggesting that they might be prioritizing financial gain over the fighter's safety. Either he's really delusional or he only cares about the money, Taylor said bluntly. He added, maybe once Jake actually takes that kind of fight, he'll come back down to earth and have a real conversation, whoever it's with, at a realistic level. Taylor also weighed in on the broader debate surrounding Paul's desire to face elite-level fighters, such as Anthony Joshua or Canelo Alvarez. He emphasized the immense risks and challenges involved in these crossover matchups.
Chasing these boxes, I mean, I don't think Mike Tyson should have ever taken that fight against Jake Paul. I mean, Jake Paul's now got a massive one over, even though Mike Tyson was in his 60s, but still he beat like a legend in the sport, you know what I mean? So really, Mike should never have done that, but I think they're making a mockery of boxing.
Jake Paul faced widespread mockery on social media following his bold claim that he could defeat Anthony Joshua. Former boxer and trainer Dave Coldwell led the criticism, bluntly stating that AJ would snap his neck with a jab. DAZN broadcaster Adolo Ladipo echoed the sentiment, adding, 10 seconds is all it would take for AJ to win. Coldwell didn't hold back, emphasizing that if the fight were to happen, Joshua would knock Paul out cold with little effort. In a humorous yet scathing remark, he even joked that Paul's head would be literally decapitated against a fighter of Joshua's caliber. His comments underscored the massive skill and experience gap between a seasoned world-class boxer like Joshua and a social media star-turned-fighter like Paul.